Welcome, everyone. So happy to have you. We're going to wait a few minutes and then we'll get started on today's session. My friend Celine here, and welcome to today's workshop. Today, we're going to talk about creating a new vision for yourself for 2025. As we know, history repeats itself, and your 2024 is likely to repeat in 2025 unless you do something about it, right? Unless you change something about the way you do your business, the way you do your life, your thoughts, your feelings, your visions, your imagination. We know, if you follow me or if you know or have studied about manifestation, we manifest what we feel. We manifest what we see and think in the vision of our mind and our thoughts. Thoughts become things. So if you want to change your 2025, you've got to do life different. That's what I came to realize. 2024 was a bunch of struggles and battles and up, just getting up, just constantly falling down, getting up, falling down, getting up, falling down, getting up. This year I said, no more. I'm not doing that again. I'm done with that. I've learned my lessons. Thank you, 2024, for teaching me what I needed to learn. I'm ready to move forward. No looking back. And so today I want to guide you and help you as well, because if you're here, it's for the same reason, right? You want to create a new life, a new vision, change your life for 2025. So if you're with me, let's go ahead and get started. Today's day one. Tomorrow we're going to have another session to complete the workshop because this is a 2-day session. Today, I really want you to take some time to identify some of those barriers and obstacles that you crossed in 2024. It's really, really important to have a crystal clear picture of what happened in 2024 and how you got to where you were, and to be able to make a different decision, to pinpoint the things that you need to turn, right? The things you need to dial into and change. And we know that we are programmed. 97% of what we do is based on our subconscious programs. If you've read my book, Live Your Best Life, How to Go from Surviving to Thriving After Abuse, you'll understand that we got to change our subconscious mind. We got to change our subconscious programs in order to change our life, to change the way that we are and the way that we feel, the way that we think. So a lot of it is on repeat mode, repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And we're not even aware. We are not even aware of what's going on internally until we bring awareness, until we focus in, we dial in, and we give that concentrated effort to really understand, why did I have the year that I had in 2024, whether it was good or whether it was bad, whether you want to make it better, or obviously you want to make it way better in 2025. If you want to have more income, if you want to have more joy, more peace, more happiness, it all begins with doing the internal work. And so that's what we're going to do today. And then tomorrow, we're going to create and finish the vision for 2025. So we're going to ground. We're going to do a 3-minute meditation. So I want you to connect to your heart and to gratitude. This is something that I always recommend in every space that I go to, is to do this 3-minute meditation of gratitude. So we're going to do 3 minutes of inhaling and exhaling. And while we're doing that, we're going to only think of thoughts of gratitude, things you're grateful for. It could be anything and everything. It's simple as the lights that are on, the breath you're taking in, your current job, your current income, your current health, wealth, whatever, wherever you're at, just being in gratitude for 3 minutes. And we're going to place one hand on our heart and one hand on your stomach or your womb, wherever you feel it. And we're going to get ahead. I'm going to start our timer. And so we're going to breathe in, inhaling on a count of 4 inhales. 4 seconds, we're going to inhale, we're going to hold for 4 seconds, and we're going to exhale for 4 seconds. And we're just going to repeat that for 3 minutes. Ready? Let's go. I'm going to count for you, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thinking of only thoughts of gratitude. So I'm going to prompt you when to inhale, hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and we're gonna exhale. And let out a sigh as you exhale. We're gonna breathe in gratitude. We're gonna hold. And we're gonna exhale. We're gonna inhale, hold, and we're gonna exhale. Gonna inhale, gonna hold. We're gonna exhale. Inhale, going to hold. And we're gonna exhale. Going to inhale, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Hold. And exhale. Going to inhale, hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. One last round, gratitude, inhaling, hold, and exhale. All right. Now that you've connected to gratitude, you should feel so much different. You should feel your energy shift. You should feel more centered, right? And that is connecting to our heart, bringing our mind into coherence with our heart. And gratitude is the biggest and greatest law to bring you peace, joy, and strengthen your beliefs. This is super important, especially when you're feeling frantic or chaotic or nervous or fearful, or you just feel not good. You can just come to this breath, to this 3 minutes of just breathing in and out slowly and thinking of gratitude. It will shift your energy and bring you back to center. And even if you don't have like this time to yourself, just breathing in deeply and breathing out deeply will help you make that shift. All right. So having said that, uh, if you haven't followed me or you don't know me, I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I know where I was in 2024 and what I've done to change the energy and shift me out of where I was. So I'll start in 2020 when I retired from my corporate job. I was a vice president manager of a financial center, a Bank of America, and I was there 23 years. I've been in management my whole career there. I was manager of a credit card department and the home loans department, doing mortgages for the community, Hispanic community all over the US with my Spanish team of loan officers, and we served a lot of clients. We were always one of the top teams, and I loved it. I loved the work, but I wasn't fulfilled. I didn't feel fulfilled. I felt like I wasn't expanding. I was kind of just doing the same job over and over. And I wanted to grow, and I thought about promoting up, and it just didn't appeal to me. I wanted my freedom. I wanted to be free. I wanted to travel when I wanted to travel. I wanted to go to so many places. One of them I always visualize, which is very important. I will say this, visualize myself in Machu Picchu. which is a beautiful sacred mountain up in Peru. And all I could think about was sitting there when I would have a minute or two, I'd close my eyes or just even with my eyes open, and I would just daydream being there and feeling the feeling of the joy. And this is even before I knew about manifesting, before I knew of any of this information. That's just what I did to kind of escape for a moment. And that's what I actually did that. That dream did come true 3 years ago after I retired. So in 2020, literally 2 weeks before the pandemic hit and the whole world shut down, I decided to retire. I didn't know what was happening in the world, but I retired. And during that time, I wrote my book during the pandemic. I wrote my book and it was published about 4 or 5 months later in June of 2020. And it's called Live Your Best Life, How to Go from Surviving to Thriving After Abuse. I had just gone through in 2018, my divorce, my second divorce from my spouse. And I was trapped. I felt trapped in a cycle of just, how could I say, narcissism, a lot of, in the end, it just became really, really ugly and really, really abusive, verbally and also emotionally. And then it started to escalate to physical. And that's when I just shut down the door on that. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. And I got a mentor coach, and she helped me to get out of that relationship, to focus on myself, to grow, self-growth, self-fulfillment, and self-love, a lot of self-love. And that is how I changed from being there in a whole nother state. And I moved to a new state. I was still I was still chained to the my biggest hurdle of my life that I'm working and have worked on this, especially this last couple of years, and that was codependency. And with codependency, I moved to another state to help a family member reestablish and get established. My whole focus and energy was on my family member instead of myself, which is part of the second part of the story. So anyways, I was able to change and to shift and to transform enough to leave the company, follow my dreams, follow my goals, write my book, became a life coach. I got certified under Bob Proctor and then Kathleen Cameron. And it was all about manifestation and health, wealth, and happiness. Those are my three mottos: health, wealth, and happiness, and helping people achieve those dreams. How I was going to do that, I didn't know, which is what I'm going to talk to you about today, is how you can also create your own dream life. And you don't have to know the how, you don't have to know how you're going to do it. You just have to have a dream. You have to have a dream big enough, worthy of you, to stretch you to your limits. That's the first thing Bob taught me, is to dream big without any limits. So a question for you is, what would you love to have in your life? What would you love to do in 2025? What would make your life full, complete, where you're just busting out the seams of joy, happiness, and peace and tranquility? Like what does that life look like? Okay, so take a moment now. This is a workshop, so have your pen and paper ready. Right, I want you to take the next 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to set a timer to go ahead and do that for yourself. To write down what would make you excitingly happy. The travel, is it a romantic relationship? Is it better friendships, better relations with family, friends, coworkers, a different type of career, more money? Like, what is it that's going to bring you complete happiness and bliss? And don't think about how you're going to do it. I just want you to give yourself the opportunity to dream and to dream big and to dream without any limitations. Everything's a possibility for the next 3 minutes. So go ahead and get started. I'm going to set the timer here and giving you that time, because otherwise we don't take the time to do this and then nothing ever gets done, right? So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started. Great, friends. How was that for you? Were you able to jot something down? I hope you did. If not, you can always come back to this session and to this time. Give yourself plenty of time. I also want you to notice if you had anything come up for you, like fear, if you had any doubts, like, is it really possible? If you weren't even able to write it down, that's something we're going to look at today. We're going to look at some of those programs, those patterns, those beliefs that are holding you back. Because that is really what's holding us back. Nobody else is holding me. Nobody else has held me back. I wanted to retire 5 years prior and I didn't do it. And so you can change your life. You really can. You really can dream and live a life of your dreams. But you have to allow yourself to do that. You have to believe it wholeheartedly. You have to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust universe, your higher power, your belief system, right? The supporting belief system that we all have. But a lot of times we don't tap into our resources because of fear or self-doubt and limitations. So next exercise we're going to look at is self-limitations, those self-imposed limits. And what we're going to do is we're going to do an exercise that my mentor and teacher, Kathleen Cameron, taught me, and she does this every year, and I did this as well, is we're going to write out all the months of 2024 on a piece of paper. You could do a full sheet, write January through December. And in each section for each month, I want you to write the highlights of your month and the lowlights as well. Okay, so if you had a plan for 2024, if you had goals you set for 2024, I want you to write those in your review. This is a recapitulation, a review of 2024. And I want you to write those down. And then I want you to write what you actually accomplished and what you did. And then I want you to look at why you accomplished your dreams and goals or why you didn't accomplish your dreams and goals. Either way, I want you to write them down. And then I want you to write any other things that come up for you, right? Any other dreams you had that you didn't even attempt to achieve, things that you wanted to do that you didn't get to for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Just want you to look at that. I want you to look at that for all of 2024. And for that, I'm going to leave that for homework for you. So you can take time to really do that. And we'll get started in this setting. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to be able to do that, at least to get started. And then as tonight progresses, I want you to take some more time and really dig into the feelings, right? The most important thing I want you to do is to understand the feeling, the underlying feeling that you carried in January, in February, in March, in April, May, June, all the months. And you might see that there is a pattern or there's an underlying common thread of thoughts and feelings. And that's really what I want you to come away with from this exercise, from looking back at 2024. What were some of those events that happened in your life? How did you feel about them? How did you react? How did that determine the rest of the year for you, right? It's an ongoing circle and loop, and one event leads to the next and to the next. I want you to kind of see from a non-judgmental manner, right? I don't want you to judge yourself or feel sad or bad or angry or mad at yourself or at other people. No, this is just for you to connect, to understand, kind of see yourself reviewing yourself for the year without any attachments, without any feelings, none of that. We're going to leave all of that at the door. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve us to feel bad or to judge ourselves. We just want to go into it with an open mind, an open eye, and just to understand what happened in 2024, whether good or bad, right? I just want you to take your time to review that for yourself. Be completely honest. Nobody's going to look at this. I'm not going to share it or post it online unless you want to, but This is just for you. This is just for you to understand what happened in 2020. You don't have to figure out why. If something comes to you, that's great. If you get that insight, that's great. Jot it down. But really, it's just a review. It's just a review to understand what happened. Okay. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to get started on that. I'm gonna pull up increase the music, the sound of the music, so you have something to listen to and to actually start doing this exercise. And then it may take a slow rest of it or not. So just be honest with yourself, and I'll come back after 5 minutes. How was that? Share in the comments if you like. I know that it could be a little uncomfortable, right? A little uncomfortable to recognize or to see some areas that you wanted to accomplish and didn't fulfill, but that's okay. That's why we're here. We're here to change that because remember, if you don't change, if you don't identify those underlying programs that are operating through your life, you're going to keep repeating the same thing over and 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 over, no matter how hard you try to change. I know I did for most of my life. And there's still things I still catch myself doing and repeating and cycles. And I'm like, oh, I still have work to do. And that's okay, right? Because the most important thing is to become aware. Once you become aware, then perfect opportunity to change and shift and let go. Let go of all the things that no longer serve you. And that's what today is all about. So take the rest of tonight, allow yourself to feel your feelings. If you have feelings come up, just acknowledge them, thank them, and just tell yourself it's time to let it go now. Try to see if there's a pattern, a thread, a story you're telling yourself that you can let go. Write it down. If you identify it, write it down. And then right next to it, I want you to write the opposite story. What is a new story you want to share and have and live from? Right? Versus, like, for example, let's say you think of, oh, it's always hard for me to earn money. It's always hard for me to get clients. It's always hard for me. Life is hard, right? Write it down, identify it, thank it for revealing itself to you, write it down. And then right next to it, I want you to write, my life is easy. My life is beautiful. I attract everything I want effortlessly. Everything just comes to me. I don't have to work for anything. Okay. Whether you believe it or not, I want you to write the opposite. What do you want to believe? What do you want to be true for yourself? And then tomorrow I'm going to have you do an activity to help release some of those negative thoughts and programs to really embrace your newness, right? I also want you to start thinking about what you want in 2020. I know you already wrote your vision, what you would love. Now I want you, after you do this exercise, and then tomorrow, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an into tomorrow. You're going to write a plan of action for 2025. Okay, but that'll be tomorrow. But for tonight, I just want you to stay with your feelings, stay with 2024 to help release it. So you can't bring in the new when the old is still stuck there. You got to release the old and then bring in the new. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today, for being here. I honor you for your strength, your courage, and bravery to be here. Much love to you the rest of the night. If you have a candle, turn it on. Have that candle on all night while you finish writing your exercise, review of 2024. And if you need support, I'm always here for you. You can always reach out. Reach out to me in my link in my bio.